You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's BARKNWAG.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. Bark and Wag is dedicated to protecting our dogs through advocacy, education, and supporting like-minded dog lovers by selling custom pet products. Bark and Wag is excited to announce our new partnership with a Colorado hemp farm to produce a line of CBD products for your pets. Bark and Wag has CBD pet tincture available in 300, 750, 1200, and 2400 milligrams. Bark and Wag CBD is pet safe, no THC, it's made in the USA, and is CO2 extracted. Please check out Bark and Wag's website, barkandwag.com. That is BARK, to see our line of CBD and awesome merchandise. We love pooch ideas for podcasts and merchandise, so anytime send an email to Polly at barkandwag.com with your suggestions.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Cindy Myers, animal communicator. Welcome, Cindy.
Hi, Polly.
Thanks for coming back on the podcast. I wanted to let our listeners know what webinars and fun events you have going on in April.
Oh, sure. Well, the one they probably would be most interested in is my Animal and Emotions webinar. That will be April 6th. At 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be, I think, 7 o'clock your time in the Denver, Colorado area. And we're going to be talking continue our talk about separation anxiety and different kinds of anxiety our pets are experiencing lately with people starting to go back to work and traveling more. I'm getting a lot of clients that have that issue of separation anxiety. So we're going to talk about how we can help our pets more without those issues.
And when is that?
That is April 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
And how do people register?
If you go to my website, yourenergyhealer.com, you could click on the link there for the event. And what that does is just put you into my list. And then you'll get the automatic emails about the Animal and Emotions webinars once you get on my email list. So that's the best way.
Okay, great. And do you have any other webinars going on in April?
Well, I have a human version, which is called the Intuitive Listening webinar. That one is, again, geared toward, I work with both animals and humans. And so this one will be geared for issues that humans are dealing with stress, and I'll probably do a little bit more of our own separation anxiety of various stresses we're all going through these days. And that one is on Wednesday, April 20th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And same thing as you go to my website, yourenergyhealer.com, and just get on my email list. You can click on the events page and say, yes, I'd like to be on the list. And then you get the automatic emails where you register for the various events. And it's just one click after you get into the list. Real easy.
Neat. And so are you finding that the animals, once they understand that the humans going back to work, that they settle down?
It varies from animal to animal. You know, every situation is different. Sometimes it just takes one session of kind of clearing the anxiety and me communicating to them what's going on. Others that are more prone to anxiety and separation might take a few more sessions to help them through it and work and help the humans know what to do for their pets. It's sometimes a little trial and error trying to find the right combination of what their person can do for them, as well as helping helping them clear the trapped emotions that are built up around separation. So it really varies. That's where I'm not psychic. I don't predict how many sessions it'll take. It's a team approach at that point of me working with you. A good example was a client went on a little vacation, and her little dog really flipped out with her being gone, and just was pacing and panting and crying, and just hours of being very, very upset. And so she texted me and said, please, is there anything you can do to help? So I quickly went in and released the panic and fear it was experiencing. And within a short while, her husband texted her that he was calming down and settling down a bit. And by the next day, he was a little better. But so he was settling down. I did a little more clearing the second day that she was gone. And then he was a lot more himself. He still was not happy that she was gone, but he was not as nearly as anxious as all that. And what was interesting too, she texted me when she arrived at the airport, and her daughter was home still with the dog, and she texted her mom and said, he's already waiting at the door for you. He knows you're coming home.
Oh, that's a riot.
So he sensed it. And I did
communicate.
And I did communicate to him that she'd be home that evening. So it was probably when he saw her husband leave to go pick her up, he knew that she was on her way home. Smart little guy.
That's so cute.
So yeah, that's how I can help in situations like that. Can help relieve some of that panic feeling they're having when somebody goes away, or it's just changing their routine. It really can unsettle them a lot. So we want to get rid of those trapped emotions and just kind of help calm them down, put a little energy into them. That's positive. Peace and calm. I like to replace it with peace and calm. And then communicate what the heck's going on. That doesn't mean they're happy about it, but at least they're not gone forever, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure after being home for so long and the dogs being used to the work pattern, like my dogs are underneath my desk, and it's just, I'm sure if I were to leave to go to an office, there would have to be an adjustment. I probably would try to find like a dog walker to come and kind of, a few days just to break up that monotony while I was gone. So
yeah, that's a nice idea for those that are used to walking and having a lot of attention. Yeah, I don't know what mine would do. I'm not sure who would handle it worse, me or them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we'd both be in a lot of bad shape.
Yeah, so great. Well, those are two super webinars, and we'd love to have you back in May or end of April to let us know what's going on in, May, June, and July. So
yeah, I'm working up a possible big thing happening in the Midwest. It's nothing firm yet. So yeah, do check in because it should be firm by then if and what will happen, and that could be a good, fun thing to share with y'all.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for being on the podcast, and best of luck with the 2 webinars.
All right. Thanks, Polly.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.